On the pit road the first time around. He's saying he's loose on throttle, so a little chassis adjustment to try to help him out there, tighten him up a little bit. Remember, these cars tend to get looser as the night goes on, the opposite of what we normally see. 4 tires. Looks like a clean pit stop. 15.2, a little bit long for Jamie McMurray.
Martin Truex, let's go over the wall. Brian Chase, and as he pulls back out.
Oh, when they start making these pit stops, I think you could probably put jersey barriers up there and you wouldn't keep a lot of these drivers from coming in. They really want tires right now. These cars are sliding everywhere.
Sure do. We saw all that smoke back there at pit road. That was Matt Kenseth locking his up to come to pit road. Dale Earnhardt Jr., we can tell he has made a pit stop. 24 of Jeff Gordon is in. Here comes the 14. Gordon, as we mentioned, he is first on the road. And let's send it to Dave.
Boy, Jeff really wanted to pit. He said, come on, dude, to Steve Letarte. And Steve said, we're waiting for the leader. Well, the leader is finally going to come down pit road, but they're going to fix tight on landing for Jeff Gordon. So the guy battling for the lead, the 14 of Tony Stewart, is on pit road. He said, tight center, loose off, but you helped it a bunch. That was a wedge and track bar adjustment last time. Greg Biffle is also on pit road for a loose race car. Biffle's crew will go down on the track bar and give him an air pressure adjustment. That's the 16 of Biffle. Had to angle in, but so far legal in his pit stall. Look at that right front brake rotor. It's on fire, and Hamlin's on pit road.
Carl Edwards coming in again. The car very, very loose. They're going to go down one round on the track bar, change air pressure in the right front. The car's getting better and better. The track's getting freer, but the adjustments are working for Carl. Jamie.
And Denny Hamlin wants it to loosen up just a bit. They're going to make a wedge adjustment on the car that has dominated so far tonight. 4 tires filling up with fuel for the number 1 pit box. He's down and away. 13.5. Great stop for Denny Hamlin.
He's led 59 of the 98 laps that we've run. Kevin Harvick also made his stop. Jimmy Johnson finished up their work, coming back out from on board with Kevin. Kevin's made a great run tonight. As you can see back here, Tony Stewart back out front again after the pit stop. Still got a few cars that are going to have to make stops. The 21 comes in of Bill Elliott. And Bill gets his work done. His son Chase Elliott won his first Pro All-Star Series race at North Wilkesboro last night. He wanted to make sure we said that because he's a proud papa.
He should be. That boy can drive.
All right, on the right side there, out of sequence, of course, Kyle Busch, as he is trying so desperately to get back into position here. But he's shown in 3rd place right now. But remember, he is going to have to make a stop. He is going to need a caution pretty soon because that would then keep him on the lead lap here at our Sprint Cup race in Atlanta, presented by Pennzoil as we approach the 100-lap mark. Oh, we just finished our 2nd round of green flag pit stops in time for the AT&T Fastest Pit Crew of the Year award. Jeff Gordon's team's currently in the lead, but you help determine the standings. Vote from your AT&T phone by texting the car number to 2258 for the pit crew you think's the fastest and the most valuable.
It's so hard to pick the fastest pit crew this last time. We'll go ahead and give it to Hendrick. They got 13.3 in the top 3 spots. You see Martin Truex's team there just a 1/10 of a second off, and so is Denny Hamlin. That's some competitive pit stops on pit road right there.
David Rudiman was called in by NASCAR officials because the team requested it because they can't communicate with him, and it has really cost him. Look at the steering wheel off.
Yeah, they changed steering wheels probably because they had a mic button or some kind of wiring issue with it. Hard to do that under green, though, man.
And there you see Kyle Busch. We can tell you during the commercial break he did pit. So again, he is a lap down, shown in 28th position. So the caution he needed did not happen. If you're wondering, as we complete lap number 107, working lap 108, this is the longest green flag stretch to start an Atlanta race since March of 04, when the first 126 were green. And if you want to know the all-time mark, 309 back in March of 1990.
Wow. Man. A lot of green flag racing.
A lot of green flag racing. A lot of pressure on pit crews, too. Let's set it all for you because you got Tony Stewart up front by 6/10 of a second over Denny Hamlin. 3rd place is Carl Edwards. Martin Truex Jr. is 4th. Casey Kane 5th. And then Jimmy Johnson rounds out the 6th position. And Paul Menard is now running in the 7th spot and doing a very nice job tonight.
I don't know what it is about this track, but it really does suit Paul Menard's style. He's had some great finishes here, and looks like he's going for one tonight.
He got his first Cup Top 10 finish here back in March of '06. He finished 7th. And, of course, he finished 5th back here in March earlier this year.
Yeah, and all the Richard Petty Motorsports cars are running pretty well tonight. Elliott Sadler's 22nd. He's right now the last car on the lead lap. But Paul Menard having a fantastic run so far.
Got a good look there at Kurt Busch, just all over the place coming off the corner.
Yeah, he's a lap down in 24th position. The problems continue. Let's go back up front because you've got Casey Kane and Jimmy Johnson. This is our closest battle on the track, especially in the top 5. These guys going after each other. Kane has earned more points this year on the 1.5-mile tracks than any other driver. And right now, he would be shown in 13th place in the points. And let's check in with the race lead right now with Tony Stewart leading by a half a second, Dave Burns.
And Marty, you know how much technology is involved these days in NASCAR racing? Well, what about going old school? Watch this last pit stop that Tony Stewart's crew did. The guy in the foreground, that's his dad Nelson waving a flashlight. Right here, son. Pit right here. And you want to hear what Tony had to say about it? Listen.
The lights on the lights you guys were holding on the pit box works really good there. I can see those. Don't worry about putting them on the sign. Just put them right in my eyes. Okay, 10-4.
How about that? Putting the old man to work with just a flashlight, and Tony really appreciated it.
You going to get a paycheck?
I'm sure they learned that. Probably some dirt track around the country where you can't really see. They learned that trick. Worked pretty good tonight.
Dave Blaney in the 38 is lap traffic. You see Elliott Sadler also out there, and got a gaggle of cars right in front of the race leader. David Reagan gets loose there, and here we go again with Kane and Jimmy Johnson side by side. 3 wide as they go past Kevin Conway. Conway's in 42nd place, 40 laps behind. J.J. Yaley's pulled back behind the wall, so has Joe Nemechek. They're the only 2 off the track. May have an issue in the 20 car of Joey Logano. He's in 27th spot right now, a lap down.
I just heard him go by the front straightaway, definitely on 7 cylinders. Something's going wrong there.
So not a good night for Logano. You can see what it looks like from on board. Jeff Gordon on the high side of Clint Boyer. That is for 12th position on the track.
Yeah, looks like Jeff, they're making some progress with his race car here. It looks like they've made it a little bit better with these pit stops. I'm sure they would love to have a caution, be able to make maybe a bigger adjustment, not lose any time. But in 13.3 seconds, you don't have much time.
Not much, no.
Jeff stays on the highline. There you see Ryan Newman also in this mix. He's 14th. Remember, he has got to get himself in the top 3 to have any kind of real mathematical shot going into Richmond to still be in the mix for that 12th and final spot as we head for the chase. We mentioned Paul Menard. There he is, closing down on Casey Kane. And these guys are 5 seconds behind the race leader, Tony Stewart.
Paul's trying to see if he can get that 98 car in front of Casey Kane, be the top Richard Petty Motorsports car here tonight. Just a nice solid run. You see coming into the picture right back there is our points leader, Kevin Harvick. He's worked his way up into the 8th spot now.
Yep, he's picked up 21 spots. He's been the biggest mover from the start of the race. All right, let's get an update on the 00 story on David Ruderman, Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, they black flagged David because he could not hear his spotter. NASCAR says you got to have communications. He came in. Here's what happened. Here's David Ruderman's helmet and the radio connection. It normally would go to a cable running across the cockpit here. That's how it would be connected. But because David was flailing his arms inside the car driving the wheel, his arm caught the cable and it came loose. He didn't know he couldn't hear him. He was turning the car so violently in the corner, he actually snapped the radio, unhooked from the attachment. They had to bring him on the pit road and hook it back up. How about that, guys?
Great description, Doc. And now David Ruderman can finally hear what's going on. And Beek will do the best he can. He's 2 laps down, though, in 35th position. Our race leader, Tony Stewart, by 1 second over Denny Hamlin. And remember, Tony has yet to win this year. There's our top 5, our Sprint Cup race, presented by Pennzoil. And Here's the flashlight saying, Tony, here it is. And Dad says, hey, I did my job right.